wasn't going to do this interview. It's very emotionally draining. The experience was horrible the first time, so to choose to go back and relive those memories is very difficult. The man that I married, he was good-looking and friendly, kind and fun. He was my Prince Charming. He was that tall, dark, and handsome guy that I dreamt of as a little girl. Seeing this picture on the front page of the newspaper, I was just in disbelief that this was my life and what it had all turned out to be. I met Richard in law school. He was very outgoing and friendly and enthusiastic. And because I was so shy, I was very much attracted to his outgoing personality. We started dating and it was a pretty intense relationship. We'd been dating for about 6 months and he proposed on Valentine's Day. After we got married, he was very persuasive in convincing me that I wanted to give up my career to be a mom. He had gotten a job with the DA's office and made a name for himself, was very successful, very good attorney. I was a stay-at-home mom now. We were in a very affluent neighborhood. We attended a local church and were very much engaged with activities with kids and looked like a very normal family.
But you weren't.
No, we were not normal at all. Growing up, my dad and I were very close. He really played a large role in my life. That really never stopped. I valued my dad's opinion on things, and that really made Rick uncomfortable. He didn't like that I was so close to my family, and particularly my dad.
Hey, Rick. Great to see you, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, honey.
He didn't like that my dad would give me a hug when we went down to see him, or put his arm around me for a posed picture.
You, taking good care of my baby, Rick?
Oh, I'm taking great care of your girl.
Good.
He thought that that was all very inappropriate and that should stop immediately. He would start to talk to me when we were in private, saying that something was wrong with me. Why would you want your dad to hug you?
That was totally inappropriate.
What?
Well, he grabbed you.
You don't hug your daughter, and you don't put your arm around your daughter. I remember responding to him that, well, we're a close family. We've always hugged, but he would get increasingly bothered by it. I remember starting to feel like maybe there's something wrong with me. Why would I think this is okay if he's saying it really is inappropriate? The relationship between Rick and my dad gradually worsened. And I think so often you don't see the red flags, you don't see the warning signs because you don't want to see them. He wanted sex whenever he demanded it, and I didn't have any say in that. He didn't want to come home to a soccer mom. He wanted to come home to a wife.
What do you think about this?
He wanted me to just be in bed, having sex all the time, and what's wrong with me? I should be wanting to have sex all the time, too.
Why don't you try it on?
I just put this on.
And it was a real power struggle.
I don't want to put it on.
Susan, put it on.
That perhaps was one of those red flags that I should have seen. But growing up, I had always heard and been told by my mom that marriage is hard work and it requires compromise. And so I thought that what was going on in our relationship was very normal. This was marriage. The first time Rick suggested that I'd been sexually molested by my dad, I just thought that he was crazy.
Did he ever touch you?
What?
He just went on and on that I was sexually repressed or prudish because I was molested by my father as a child.
He's molested you, hasn't he?
I remember reacting, no, he wasn't.
No, he did not.
That was not true. But I think it just really incensed Rick that I had such a close relationship with my dad. It was like a light bulb went off with him. I was the problem, not him. He was trying to really make his case to prove it to me so that I would have to accept it as true, whether I remembered it or not.
No.
He just became obsessed and was on a mission to convince me that I had been molested, and he was going to prove it to me. It started with going through old photos. Perfectly normal photos.
This photo. Look at this. Look at this right here.
Yeah, my dad's reading me a story.
Look at the way he's touching you.
I'm sitting in his lap, Rick.
My dad just has his arm around me, and he would say, "Look at the look on his face. He's looking at you in that knowing way."
Here.
It's a sleepover party.
I know. You think it's a sleepover party.
He focused on the fact that a picture was taken of girls sleeping.
This isn't right. Who takes pictures of girls like that?
We're just kids.
And he would just distort it to make his case and convince me that I had been molested.
You have to remember something. Think.
This is crazy.
These memory sessions could go for hours. We'd go all night. The sun would come up, and I was so tired. I said that I had no memories of anything like that.
I can't talk about this anymore.
If I'm not his partner, I'm partnering with my dad. And so he'd start to pull the weapons out. He had 3 guns, he had a sword, and he was in a crazed rage.
You don't have to do this.
He had 3 guns, he had a sword, and he picked up the sword and started just wielding it around and just crazy. He was just enraged. He would stand in the doorway blocking my exit from the room. Don't you walk away from me when I'm talking to you, and just be very threatening and scary. So he was controlling me before he ever hit me. He was going to sue my dad because he was deprived of a wife with a healthy sex appetite. I remember the dollar amount was $1 million. Everything just started to close in. He was there constantly. Pretty soon, calls were no longer allowed, and no one in the house was to answer the phone ever. I had been isolated from my family. He's working full-time on building this case against my dad, building binders, organizing family photos, collecting paperwork, and getting books that he's highlighted. He was just immersed in this project.
Rick?
And it just got crazier and crazier as time progressed.
I'm gonna try this again.
He would take notes.
There he is touching you there. There he is taking photos of you sleeping. Let's do it together, why don't we?
And he would just go on and on, hours and hours, days on end.
How long do we have to do this before you see what's clearly there?
Just wanting to talk about details and details, and they were details I didn't have answers to.
Don't remember any of it. Told you.
I was never molested by my father as a child. I do remember the first time that he punched me in the stomach, because that was a punch. We were in the bathroom, and I was trying to get out, but he was blocking the doorway. And it was a small bathroom, and I couldn't get away from him, and he just punched me in the stomach. And I remember just feeling nauseous, and my wind was knocked out of me. I went back against the wall and then down to the floor.
What is wrong?
I was just so struck by how shocked I was that he punched me. And after that, there were so many more, because he punched me in the face, broke my nose, and dislocated my jaw, and boxed my ears, and punched me in the ribs, and knew that he'd broken ribs, and then he punched in the same places again. And he was just very targeted in his inflicting pain. And he said, "You think that hurts? Just wait till I hit it again. You think it's broken? Just wait." I tried to leave once.
No, I know. But
He called and told me he's on his way home. He'd be there in 20 minutes, and he was mad.
right. But no, if you would just let me explain.
I was scared to death. I was afraid to be home when he got there.
Okay, let's go. Come on, kids. Put your coats on.
Where are we going?
Come on,
What's going on?
So I just quickly tried getting kids in the car so that we could just go somewhere and be gone, but Ryan wouldn't go.
Come on. Let's go. I know.
I can't.
I felt so controlled and trapped by fear. I didn't see any way out. The kids were very much in fear, and they were running as fast as they could. Dad's mad, and he's on his way home. Let's hurry, let's go, let's get in the car.
All right, let's go. Come on, hurry, let's hurry.
They were pleading with Ryan to come too, so that we could go faster. They were scared to death.
Ryan, let's go, Lisa. Your father's on home.
He knows Dad's scary, but he also knows that you have to appear to be on Dad's side. And he was afraid to look like he was taking Mom's side by leaving with me. And so I just quickly tried getting kids to the car so that we could just go somewhere and be gone, but Ryan wouldn't go. And so I did. He was my oldest. At the time, he was 16, and he didn't feel like it was safe to side with Mom. And Dad was on his way home, so I took the 3 kids and I left Brian there. And I didn't know what to do. I had to go back to the house. I was too afraid to stay gone. So I went home. And Rick had never even come home, so Ryan was there all alone. I didn't see any way out. I felt so controlled and trapped by fear. I didn't want to leave because my kids were still in the house. And I couldn't leave with the kids. I just felt trapped. I couldn't figure out a plan. His personality, his ego, would not stand for his wife leaving him. No one was going to leave Rick, and certainly no one was going to take his children.
There's a war going on. A war between good and evil.
He started saying, oh, she's got demons, she's been possessed.
So your grandfather, he's in charge of a satanic cult. And has your mother under his spell.
I don't know where the satanic cult idea came from, but in addition to my dad having been a child molester, now he was this powerful guy in this satanic cult. He was referring to my dad as a high priest. And I had ambitions of being the high priestess.
And I'm gonna do whatever I can to break her of that spell.
He would drag me by my hair out and show me to the kids and say, see, this is what I'm beating out of your mother. He was beating the demons out of me.
Stop it!
The kids were silent. They were just staring and said nothing. He was really trying to turn the kids against me. The kids very much believed this cult story. Rick was scary and very persuasive, and he had all the power in the house.
I thought that because he said my mom was possessed by a demon, that maybe she could be. I was a little scared of her for that reason. I remember the first time that I ever prayed was after he was telling us that sort of stuff. I prayed, God, just, help Mom. Help, save her from that. Save her from what's going on inside of her. And I remember my sister was there watching me, and she said that Mom was crazy. Didn't need to pray for her.
You can't save Mom. You know that, right?
I believed it. I was brainwashed into believing everything my father said. That she was friends with demons, that she spoke with them, that her whole family was in this cult. He made me hate my mother. And in my mind, I didn't know anything different. He was telling me these things, and I believed them. Because I was a child, believing my father.
Because he was mounting this case against my dad, people were gonna come to the house and kill him. Some Jehovah's Witnesses women came to the door.
Hi, may I help you? No, we'd really love to introduce you to Jehovah's Kingdom. Oh, okay.
I just said no, thank you. We're good. We're not interested.
Thanks for coming by, though. All right. Thank you. Take care now.
Soon as they left, Rick ran out with his gun.
What's that?
He was certain that these women had been sent to the house by my dad.
Who was it?
I don't know. He was gonna run after them and kill them.
No, thank you.
Who was it?
Rick thought these Jehovah's Witness women that came to the door were part of my dad's cult. He ran outside and he was chasing them to kill him. And I heard a pop. He ran back in the house and fell down onto the floor. And he said, I shot myself in the leg. I shot myself. My gun went off.
I'm just standing there, shocked, just trying to figure out what happened. My mom's holding my dad in her arms. My dad's freaking out.
It was the Satanists. Outside, they shot me. They want to kill me.
I was just at a loss for words when I heard that. But once again, Dad wouldn't lie to me.
They're trying to kill your father.
I believed fully what my dad was telling me was true.
He said we weren't safe. There were probably people positioned everywhere. He was tipping furniture over to have it be positioned for gun supports and barricading doors and windows. He was preparing the house for this attack from this cult. He locked me in the bedroom, and I was not to come out. He couldn't lock the door from the outside, but the lock was fear. He wore one of his guns in a holster throughout the house, and he kept the other pointed at me as we slept. He told the kids that they were no longer to talk to me or have any contact with me. He was going to get them a new mom and get rid of me. It just felt like a matter of time before he was going to kill me. My biggest fear was that he would kill me and then include the kids in disposing of me.
We were in the back of the car, me and my brother, and we had our paintball guns, and Dad would tell us to have them aimed at my mom. If she moves, shoot her with paintballs. Mom is silent the whole time, and she's scared out of her mind. We pull over into this field, and my dad looks back at me and my brother, and he's just like, what do you think we should do, boys? You think we should shoot her? And he gets out of the car, he tells my mom to follow him. They go walking off into the field, and I remember just watching them as they slowly just go. He's hitting her, and I remember he was screaming at her, you're not on my side. Why aren't you helping me? I'm waiting for a loud bang to go off. I remember actually saying to myself, this is a nightmare, this isn't real.
I was certain at that point that I was going to be shot. I was looking around to see if there was some place to crawl to or somebody to scream out for help to. And he held the gun to my head.
Rick.
He said, "Are you ready to die?" And I remember the Lord's Prayer just going through my head, and I just stood there and I was waiting for him to shoot. And he, for whatever reason, decided that he still needed me around, so he dragged me back to the car. He decided to take me to the sheriff's department to confess that I was a part of the plan to have Rick killed. The story had evolved to where now I wasn't just a victim and had been molested by my dad. Now I was a molester. I had molested my own children. Once I confessed to conspiring to kill my husband and I've molested my children, surely they're going to arrest me. I wanted to be arrested because that was the only plan I could come up with to get out of this. It wasn't a great plan, but it was the only plan I had. I mean, I just wasn't going to last much longer. I needed it to end.
So, officer, what I was trying to say was...
When we got there, a couple of detectives took us into a room, and Rick started to explain what brought us there.
He's put out a statement that he wants me dead.
The detectives were listening to all of this, and then they said, okay, well, we need to have Susan formally make her statement and record it, so we're going to ask you to step out in the hall, Rick. It was so horrible. And I couldn't say anything. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
She's involved in this organization. Go ahead, explain.
Susan, is that true? What do you say?
Everything he says is true.
Rick, would you step outside, please, while I take our statement?
I knew Rick was sitting out in the hall, and I did not feel safe. I wanted to be arrested. I wanted to be believed I molested my children and I need to be put in jail.
I've been abusing them for years.
So I tried really hard. I tried really hard to tell the story and have it be believable.
My family was in a Satan church and I've been a Satan worshiper.
I was nervous and scared. I want to be believed because I want to stay. I don't want to be sent home with Rick.
He told me that I needed to take accountability for molesting my kids.
At the end, they said, okay, we don't feel this is a safe environment for the children, so while we've been talking to you, we sent CPS by the house to pick up the kids. And we're going to go ahead and let you go.
Please.
I said, I'm not under arrest. You're not going to put me in jail. They said, we're going to do some further investigation and we'll be back in touch. And they sent us on our way. I was so fearful because now they're sending me home with Rick. And Rick was now mad because they had gone and taken the kids. I was scared to death.
Can we promise today that we're just going to talk about things that are the truth and things that really happened?
The cops were telling me that she was the good guy. Everything that he told me about all the cults, about beating us, about how that was normal, was a lie.
Have you ever seen your mom do anything like that to like your little sister or to any of your brothers before?
Everything completely changed within the matter of a few hours for me. Growing up and thinking that my mother was a horrible human being, and then hearing that in reality it was my father that was the monster, was very rattling.
Well, I remember just sitting there shocked.
She'd done some pretty bad stuff to us.
Okay. Is that what he told you, or do you remember this?
That's what he told me.
And I'm just realizing, holy crap, this was all a sham.
But I want you to tell me what you know, not what your dad told you, not what papers you think your dad has.
I felt lied to. I felt just immense anger. And then there's just this shame, there's this feeling of embarrassment that I believed it all. I kept thinking too of my mom, just like, oh my God, and how we've treated her, or what she's gone through.
So once we got back to the house, Rick all of a sudden thought that, wow, this is great, and we've got the house to ourselves, let's enjoy. And so he wanted me to go and put on some slutty dress and make drinks and let's party. I was having a really hard time being fun because I'm scared to death at this point. And that's when the sheriffs came to arrest him.
I can't tell you how many people are frightened to death of you right now.
Frightened to death of me?
Yes.
His reaction was, you're arresting me for spousal abuse? Are you kidding?
I didn't do this, but if you've got a theory, I'd love to hear it.
He continued to perpetuate the same crazy story.
I know it sounds crazy, but Plan to have me whacked off here after she leaves with the kids to take them down to a satanic group and be part of this satanic church.
It's so delusional and so crazy.
I don't want this. I never asked for this. I'm trying to protect my kids.
I was relieved when he was arrested. To me, he was evil.
I had to pull it together and get back on my feet because my kids were in foster care since that day that Rick took me to the sheriff's office to confess. And
it was my sole focus to get my kids back with me.
I was nervous because I didn't know what their mindset was.
They'd been turned against me, but I was still their mom. The kids ran up and gave me hugs and said that they loved me and that they missed me and when could we live together again as a family, and that they were sorry that they thought that I was the bad guy. They know that Dad's the bad guy, and it was just very emotional.
This is a picture of my dad. He just passed away a little over a year ago. We talked about it once after, and I apologized over and over again. I felt it was very important to apologize and tell him that I loved him, and after that conversation, we really didn't talk about it again. He wanted to be able to just put it behind us. I was so happy to be alive. I didn't think I would ever get to that place, but so many people think that once you remove the abuser from the situation, now the family's good to go. The problems are over and life is good again, but it's very difficult to get back on your feet.
There's gonna be stuff that always stays with me. My dad got up every day and made a choice, a conscious choice. I'm gonna torture that woman today. I'm gonna beat the crap out of that kid. I'm gonna put this whole family in a state of fear. And it took a long time for us to repair the damage.
The fact that we survived is amazing. The fact that we survive each day after he has been gone is even more amazing. Because we choose to be stronger than what he has done to us. And we choose to not be victims, but be survivors, and to keep moving forward and to have faith in people again. We can break the cycle, and we can give our future generations something that we didn't have, a better life.
This is the first time I've seen this picture. This is the man who fathered my children. You meet a guy, you fall in love with him, you know, he can tell you the sky is pink and you go, yeah, it is, and you know it's blue. But you go along with it because you're in love with this guy, and you feel like he wouldn't do anything to put you in any harm's way. Whatever I did feel for this man, it doesn't exist anymore. That died a long time ago. The whole time I was looking at him, I was just thinking, can I reach him? Can I get to him before they get to me? How much damage can I do if I do get to him? Will it be enough to end his life? 2 seconds, that's all I need is 2 seconds. And I'm willing to go to jail for that because I have nothing to live for. I hope you rot in hell. When we first met and became involved with each other, he was a little bit older than me. I met him in school. He was very gentle, very, very, very kind, and very attentive.
I like your smile.
He just was so, I guess the word is smooth. I felt the way that he treated me was something that I hadn't experienced with anybody else. Everything just fell into place.
I've been having such a good time with you. I have something to tell you.
I got pregnant, and when I found out he was excited about it, you know,
Yeah?
that was his baby, and what he wanted to do was to marry me, so that's what we did. The day that I got married, it was November 21st, 1964. It was surreal. I was happy. I was finally Mrs. Reginald Brooks. And I just figured we'd be together for the rest of our lives, like you're supposed to, till death us do part. And I believe that. We had our second child, and we were still getting along really, really well. At least in my mind, I thought we were. The only thing that I, had a little bit of concern with was why are you always trying to keep people away from me? My favorite uncle was visiting our family. He was at my parents' home.
Hello?
And my mother called to tell me that he was here and wanted to see me. And I was excited about that.
Oh, yeah? How long is he here for?
They're gonna come over here and visit for a little bit. I made all these arrangements.
Maybe you guys could stop by today. We're not up to much anyway. Yeah? I'd love that. Well, I'll see you soon then.
Who's that?
And then when I told Reggie about it, and he's like, well, they're not coming in here.
I don't want them here right now.
I'm like, what do you mean they're not coming in here? When they get here, just don't answer the door. And I said, why not? He said, because I don't want anybody in here. And I'm like, okay. He didn't say it mean. He didn't say it, demanding or anything. It was just a normal conversation.
I really don't feel like entertaining anybody right now.
I didn't know where that was coming from. Maybe he just didn't feel like having no company here. I had no way to warn my mother because there were no cell phones back then. So I couldn't call and divert them.
Reggie, can I get the door?
They came and they knocked and they knocked and they knocked, and I wasn't allowed to open the door and let them in.
Reggie,
Don't, please.
It felt like an eternity to me that my mother and my uncle were standing on the porch knocking on the door to get in, knowing that I should be there.
Reggie, I need to answer the door. This is very strange.
And I wasn't opening the door. I was just standing there and just hoping that, eventually that they would stop knocking and just go home. I was very young and very naive. A lot of things. I was a little too embarrassed to even go over there, even later on, and, even try to explain anything, because I was just like, wow, what do I say? That was just that one time, and after that, if anybody were to come around or come to visit, whatever, I just go to her house. It just made it easier. If he didn't want to go, that's fine, but we're going. You don't want to participate in anything, that's fine, we're going. So it never happened again. He was a loner, and I kind of respected that, but then he started not wanting to do too much. He stopped going out of the house.
Can't catch me. Now you can't catch me.
He wouldn't go anywhere. He wouldn't go to the store with me. He wouldn't go to anybody's home with me. If we were invited anywhere, he didn't want to go.
Reggie, you want to come into town with us? We're going to go to the movies.
So hang out here for a little bit.
He didn't want to be around his family. He didn't want to be around my family. He would sit on the porch, and he would watch the kids play, and then eventually he stopped even sitting on the porch, and he just stayed in the house. I didn't perceive that as being strange. He just was a recluse. You know, he just got to the point that he didn't want to associate, or he disassociated himself from the outside world. That's how I perceived it. It's like, okay, this is how you want to live, or this is how you want to be. That's on you, you know, but we're not going to stay locked up in this house. You know, we're going to do what we do on a daily basis. If you're content to sit in here, then that's what you do. He felt somebody out there was out to get him or trying to poison him. I had made this beef stew. Me not eating with them was not unusual because if I'm making sure everybody is fed, I'm doing stuff. But he wasn't feeling all that great and he was sick.
Beverly?
Yeah, babe?
And then he comes in there like, I've done something.
What are you trying to do? You better tell me what's in this. Okay, don't you play stupid.
And accuse me of putting stuff in his food.
What are you talking about?
He said, what'd you put in the food? And I said, seasoning, what I always do.
Are you okay?
I don't know why you would think I would do something like that. Where would I even get poison?
Stop denying it. That's why you haven't eaten any of the stew.
Come on, the kids ate it too. Do you really think I would poison my own children?
Prove it.
What?
I said prove it.
He is like, well, I need you to eat it.
Eat a bowl right now.
Fine.
I'm like, okay, I don't have a problem eating it. So I did, and he stood there while I ate it. And I ate it.
See? Nothing wrong with me.
I don't know why you're feeling this way. I don't know why you're sick. Has nothing to do with your food.
Reggie, you really don't look so well.
He still wasn't feeling any better. So I finally convinced him to go to emergency because I don't know what's going on. And he had appendicitis. They took him straight in and took him up, and they said he had half an hour to live before he would have died from it rupturing. And if I had not made him get in that car, he would have died. All I had to do was wait a half an hour. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at him, and I tell him, I will kill you.
Got it?
And if you think I'm kidding, try me. He was becoming more and more paranoid being at work. He felt that his co-workers were out to get him or do him harm and was trying to poison him, and at that point quit his job. After he quit working, Reginald's behavior started to change. The kids' friends would come by and visit with them. He would disappear into our bedroom. But he would be peeping out at them and would stare at us, looking to see what we're doing, you know, acting strange. He never came out of the bedroom.
Mom, he's doing that thing again. He keeps staring at us.
But, you know, he wasn't bothering anybody, and it didn't bother me, so I'm saying to myself, don't pay him any attention, that's just what he does.
He's just going through a rough patch. I think it's his nerves.
Can you tell him to stop?
We're not going to be isolated because you don't want to be bothered. I didn't think it was that serious. I just felt that this was something that our family was going through. He's acting strange, and more than one person is seeing it. But we're still trying to move forward to make it better, so okay, I can handle this, and we can work through this and get it together. I would be getting ready for bed, and Reggie was in there laying on the bed watching his television shows. He'd been doing that all day. And at a certain time of the evening, the TV would go off. They called it signed off. You'd get this snow, you'd get this Target picture on there making this noise. He did not turn it off. He left it on. It's that all night long. And I'm like, can you turn that off? I gotta go to work in the morning. I need to go to sleep. And I can't sleep very well with that noise on there. He just ignored all of that.
Reggie, you gonna turn the TV off? Reggie!
I was not gonna get up and turn it off because I didn't know what that would do. I mean, he wasn't physically abusive with me, but I wasn't trying to get to that point. So I was just like, well, I'll just have to tune it out so that I could get some rest. You're so tired, you have no choice but to go to sleep. You can sleep through anything. So I just kind of blocked it out and got my rest and would get up and go to work. In the middle of the night, I woke up to smelling smoke. So I got up to see, and it was inside the house in the kitchen area. So I went in there to see what was going on. And I had a rag doll. It was an ornament that you hang on the wall. And he had laid it on the stove and turned on a very low flame and set the doll on fire. I don't think it had been on there very long. It was just on there long enough to cause smoke, because all I had to do was take it off and put it under some water, and it was under control.
Reggie, why would you put this on a stove? You could have burned down the whole house.
He was in bed when I woke up to the smoke. So he had gone in there and done that and got back in bed. I'm like, you know, what is wrong with you? Why would you turn the stove on and we're all sleeping? Why would you do something like that?
Reggie, please answer me. I can't help you if you don't talk to me.
But I just never got any response as to why. So it's like beating a dead horse, so why keep asking the same question if you're not going to get an answer? I had to let it go. But that made me more on my toes of, okay, now I gotta beware that you go in there and put something on the stove. I don't know what. It was Ashley, strung up like in a noose by his neck, like it had been hung, and had a hole in his heart. That was just devastating to me. I was just trying to make it through day by day. In my own mind, I guess I was thinking, what's going to happen now? What's he going to do tomorrow? Our youngest son, Niarchos, had a little doll as a dog, and he slept with that dog. Well, I got up one morning, and as I go into the living room, I wake up the children. I see this doll. The doll was hanging up on the chandelier. I didn't know why it was up there, and my first thought was, oh, maybe they were playing, they got hung up there, and they just didn't take it down. But as I looked closer, it was Ashley, strung up, like in a noose, and had a hole in his heart. So I know kids did not do that. So I take it down before the kids see it up there. I don't know what their reaction would be to it.
Reggie! Why would you put this up there?
I say to Reggie, what was the purpose of you doing that? And he just kind of looks at me and he just never answered that question.
What are you doing, Reggie? Reggie! Tell me something!
It was like talking to myself, so why continue the conversation? I know that Reggie believed in voodoo. I know that he felt like there were certain things that you could do, that you could put a spell on somebody. So this is when things started becoming a little, what's going on with you? It sounded like incantations or chantings. I don't want to say speaking in tongue, but I certainly didn't know what he was saying. I'm not sure if he's saying something or singing something or talking to himself or what's going on. And so at that point, I decided to call the police. Somebody needs to come in here and do something because I don't know what to do. I sent the kids to their room and I called the police.
This is the police. Please open the door.
As soon as they knock on the door, whatever he's chanting, saying, or whatever in the room, he stops doing that.
Hello?
They said, can we come in? He says, yes. They go in there. They talk to him. I don't go in there. They're in there for about maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and they're talking to him what's going on. I don't really hear what he's saying to them. And then they tell me that they're leaving.
You're not going to do anything.
Ma'am, frankly, we can't do anything else.
And they said, no. I said, well, why aren't you taking him with you? And they said, well, he's coherent. He's answering our questions. Has he harmed you physically? I'm like, no.
He's no immediate threat to anyone.
But you heard him yourself.
He's in there talking crazy. I don't know what he's saying. Can't you take him out of here, take him to the hospital, take him somewhere? And they said, no.
If he hurts you or any of your kids, certainly give us a call. But until then, this is the best we can do.
That was just devastating to me. I called the hospital and tried to talk to a psychiatrist to see what they could tell me. They told me I'd have to bring him in. I'm like, well, that's not happening because I can't get him to go anywhere. So I was between a rock and a hard place. One day, I walk into the kitchen. The phone is off the wall. It's clearly broken. So I'm thinking, is the fact that I called the police upsetting to him?
Why would you do this?
And he said, I don't need people listening on any conversations or recording conversations.
Nobody is listening, Reggie. Why would anybody care about our phone calls?
I said, what people? What are you talking about? He thought the conversations on there were being recorded by somebody or listening to.
Who?
You know who. If he was having one of those paranoid episodes, I need to be on alert with him. I just didn't know what he would do next or what he could be capable of doing. At that point, just a watchful eye on everything. I woke up to a lot of commotion, and it was coming from the kids' room. I come into the hallway and I see them in the kids' room, and he was literally jumping on our oldest son.
Reggie!
He was beating on our oldest son. And I'm trying to pull him off of him.
Reggie, what has gotten into you?
Don't try and stand up.
When I got him to at least stop beating on him. I said, what did he do that's so bad? He knows what he did. He knows what he did.
Will you relax?
Don't tell me what to do. I can handle myself.
I said, sweetie, what is your daddy talking about? What did you do? He said, Mama, I don't know.
That boy's gonna get exactly what's coming to him. You hear me?
Yeah?
Exactly.
Well, you better step back or you're gonna get some too.
He's wondering what the heck is going on.
Why did he hit you?
I didn't do anything. Liar! I did!
He just kept saying, he knows what he did. He knows what he did. And I said, well, clearly he doesn't.
I'll handle this.
I said, are you okay? And he goes, yeah. And I said, okay, well, just go lay back down. And he went back to bed.
Reggie, living room, now!
They've done nothing wrong. They've never been disrespectful. They never even talked back to him.
What is going on, Reggie?
Nah, I'm not going back to bed, because I can't trust him to not go back in there.
Why would you do this?
Okay, so now you're taking sides.
I'm not taking sides, but this is unacceptable.
That boy got exactly what he had coming to him.
So, I said, I don't know what he did or didn't do in your mind's eye, but I will tell you this.
I'm not playing games anymore. You understand?
He's my child. And if you ever put your hands on my son again like that, I will kill you.
Got it.
And if you think I'm kidding, try me. I never met anything so much in my life. He used to kind of help them with their homework and stuff.
Hey, why is that one blank?
Having study sessions at the dining room table, and I just go around the table, who needs help with what? Janelle said something to Vaughn, and Vaughn said something back to him.
What did you say to me?
I said...
And, he smacked him. Reggie smacked Vaughn. He smacked him in the face.
Stop! You get off of him!
I jumped up and I went and got in between them, trying to pull them apart.
Get off of him!
And then, in doing so, Reginald Sr. slapped me.
Mom, you okay? Get off of him! Stop!
And the next thing I know, Reginald Jr. was on top of Reginald Sr.
It's not worth it. Get off of him!
And then Vaughn. All they were trying to do was wrestle him down to keep him from hitting anybody. After everything was over, all I could, hear my husband say was, you're dead meat, y'all dead meat, you're dead meat.
You shouldn't have done that.
That's the final straw. I'm done with it. Him jumping on the kids like that, I'm not having this. I'm not subjecting them to this. They didn't do anything to deserve any of this.
I'm done.
You think you're done, Reggie? This is over.
I told Reggie that I'm getting a divorce. I can't do this anymore. We already have a place, so you're the one that needs to go. Here's some money for you, traveling money. Go as far as it'll take you. Bye. And he didn't. He didn't leave. He never went anywhere. And I told the kids, I said, okay, from now on, when you go to school, do not come home till you know that I'm home from work, because I can't protect you if I'm not here. I do know that in my mind, I felt like, okay, once I get this divorce, you definitely have to go because you can't stay here. The divorce papers were delivered, but I didn't know that they were delivered. He never said anything to me. I think he thought that I was not going to do that. At that point, things had kind of calmed down. We hadn't had any other incidents. When I left work, I was gonna go do something else, and I don't remember what that was. But in a voice, go home. This voice, go home, go home. And so that's what I did. I went home. We had a little dog, Cotton, and he didn't come to the door. The house was quiet. There there was some music on, but it was really, really low. I thought, well, maybe Reggie was listening to it, but didn't hear him, didn't see him. He wasn't anywhere in the house. So I decided that I needed to check on the kids and see what they're doing and get them something to eat. Well, their door to the bedroom was closed. So I opened the door. You know, I saw one in the bed. I said, oh, them sleepyheads, they're still in the bed.
Boys? Come on now with the games.
I said, hey, sleepyheads, y'all need to get up. It's in the afternoon. You done slept all day. What's up? Nobody was responding. So then I go in the room. And Reggie Jr.'s arm is up like this, you know, and I'm looking. And then that's when I saw the bullet hole in his head. I heard somebody scream, but I don't know who it was. But in actuality, it was me. And then I looked up, and then I saw Vaughn had a bullet hole in his head. I think everything was surreal then. I turned around and I looked at Niarchos. I pulled the covers back. I saw his brains everywhere, and I just lost it. I'm not gonna make it. So, I'm sorry, I gotta let it. I called the police. I told them who I was. I told them my address. I told them my husband killed my children. He said help. I was like frozen. And then from frozen to disbelief to, oh, where's Reggie? That was my thought. I'm like, he's got to be here somewhere. And I just told the police, I'll be standing in the middle of the street. I gotta get out of here because I don't know where he is and I could be next. I told him my husband killed my children. And I don't know where he is. And everything else is pretty much a blur. I never went back into the house. A whole bunch of things was going through my head, but mostly disbelief. It's not my boys. This happens to other people. It doesn't happen to you. They're gonna get up and walk away. You know, this is a movie. This can't be happening. This is a picture of Reggie Jr., very studious. He was very kind-hearted. He'd help anybody with anything. He had this little crooked smile, you know, which let me know that you're up to something you're not supposed to be doing, but you don't want me to know what it is. This is Vaughn, my second oldest. He was the shy one. He was always keeping his hair so neat. And then it didn't take but a little bit of wind and it would be all over the place. This is my mischievous one. This is Niarchos. And you can tell by that smile, you never know what he's thinking. He didn't do anything bad, but he was always doing something. It makes me sad to think about them and that I can't hold them. It's very, very painful. And it's something that you never get over. know where he was. He had a gun and probably still had it. So if he could get close enough in the proximity of where I am, I could be next. My now brother-in-law sat there with a shotgun, literally across his knees until they found Reggie. Well, somebody knocks on the door, said, "It's police, can we come in?" He had been captured and they were bringing him back, and he was in Utah. I don't know where he was going. They told me that he had 2 baggage claim tickets, but he was only claiming 1 suitcase. He did not indicate that there was another bag that had been checked under the bus, and that's where the gun was.
I want to see him.
He claims to this day that he didn't do it, but who else? Who else would? Who else would have a reason to?
Is that correct, ma'am?
He's sitting there, I'm looking at him.
Ma'am.
That I'm answering questions.
Yes, that's correct.
But the whole time I was looking at him, I was just thinking, can I reach him? Can I get to him before they get to me? You know, how far away is he really? You know, how much damage can I do if I do get to him? Will it be enough to end his life? Give me the opportunity to get to him for 2 seconds. That's all I need is 2 seconds. And we won't have to have a trial. We won't have to have anything. And I'm willing to go to jail for that because I have nothing to live for. When I heard that he had been found guilty and was sentenced to death, I had a sense of relief that I would have justice for my boys. This is the shirt that I had on. We wore it in hopes that if Reggie would see us, he would see these shirts and he would know that we were there supporting that justice was finally being done for these boys. We took our seats and we just kind of held each other's hand, you know, and just sat there and waited. The warden did ask him, did he have any last words? And he said no. But one of the last gestures that he made was to stick up both middle fingers. And that was his message. And made a very hard, conscious effort to make sure that they remained up throughout the whole ordeal. So we just kind of just sat there and, you know, trying to stay composed. That was the longest 10 minutes of my life. And then it was over. Finally, you get to know what it feels like not to draw another breath. And you don't get the chance to hurt anybody else ever again. And hopefully you'll rest in hell. When it was very, very raw, I was very, very angry. And so I lashed out, you know, at people that really didn't deserve it. I had to learn how to stop doing that. I did meet someone I never thought I would. I met him the same year that I lost my children. And then I started dating him the year after. We were together 34 years before he passed. He had 3 children, 3 boys. And these boys are still in my life today. So that in itself has also helped me to get through the last 36 years but I don't think you ever cry enough. These are the headstones. I wanted Yakos in the middle so his brothers could protect him. The inscription on there is, always on our minds, forever in our hearts. My babies. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. I wouldn't want anybody to go through what I've gone through. So, anyone that you care about or love, tell them as often as you think about it that you love them. Give them a hug. Never take for granted that they're always going to be here. Because that's not true.
I had hoped, I guess, that we would be the perfect family. But sometimes I feel like he was two different people. When he was a nice person, he was a very sweet guy. He would do anything for you. When he was the other way, he was just awful. I should have been scared of him. I should have been more scared than I was. It's hard to believe that he would do something like that. Like, how could you do that? This picture was after he had gone to prison. Physically, he looks like a different man, but he's not. He's the evil person that I remember him as. This, too, is Jim in prison. He still says he didn't do it. Still to this day. I thought that he was the perfect family man and that everybody was happy and everybody was getting along and we were a family. Looking at the picture, you don't see how evil is. He's smiling, he looks normal there, but I lived through it. I met Jim at a country bar in North Lima. I just remember laughing and having a good time and dancing and, we had a few drinks and it was just a wonderful time. He was just the nicest guy. He took my number and we went out, we went to movies, we went dancing, and he was just great. He was a gentleman. I fell in love with him. He treated me like a princess. He asked me to marry him. And, of course, I said yes. I had children from a first marriage, and I was very eager for them to have a father figure in their life. I just felt like he was going to be there and he was going to take care of us all. Kariana was born the year after we got married, and the twins were born 2 years later. He was a great husband. He was a great father. He was very much in love with his children. We did everything as a family. It was a fun time. Happy time.
Thank you so much, Mom. Kids are gonna love them.
We didn't have a lot of money. Jim made probably the biggest part of our income being a truck driver. But my mother, she would always buy the kids stuff. And one day he just got like really, really upset with my parents.
It's really helpful because we haven't had a lot of money this year.
My mom had gone shopping and she had bought the kids clothes, and he just became angry.
No, blue's her favorite color. She's gonna absolutely love it.
Give me the phone.
Hold on, I'm talking to my mom.
Now.
And he told her, I don't want you to buy them anything anymore.
I can take care of my own family.
I was very upset about that because, you know, those are my mom's only grandkids. If she wants to buy them something, who are we to say you can't do that?
Stay away from my kids. Stay away from my wife. And stay the hell away from me.
He just got very nasty about it. He said they don't deserve anything and I don't want your mom buying anything more. If I wanted to buy them something, I'll buy it. Jim worked as a truck driver, and the way that his work schedule was, he was only home like on Wednesdays and on the weekends. He was gone most of the time. I missed him, but it wasn't, you know, like something that I couldn't handle.
I'll call you in a couple days, okay?
You better. He would call and check and make sure that we were all okay. We would talk for a few minutes, and then he would hang up. We came home and the phone was shut off.
What's wrong with this thing?
He didn't pay the phone bills, and we didn't have a phone.
Something wrong.
He just didn't pay the bill for it. And I said, why did you not pay the phone bill? And he said, we don't need that anymore.
You don't need to be communicating with anyone other than me.
I think that the reason that he didn't pay the phone bill was because my friends would come over when he wasn't there or whatever, and he didn't like that. He didn't want anybody there. And he didn't want me to have any contact with anybody else. He didn't want me talking to my parents. He didn't want me talking to my friends. And he did not let me go out and meet friends. So pretty much, I was isolated. I wasn't able to go anywhere, and I wasn't able to talk to anybody. He wanted us to be alone. When he would come home, a lot of times I would wake up in the middle of the night and he would be gone. And I'd look for his truck and his truck was gone. We never really talked about his life on the road. Only he drove so many miles, so I was suspicious of what he was doing out there. And he didn't want me to have any contact with him. When he was out on the road, he was in another life. Usually when Jim was home, he spent a lot of time out in the shed. He was always doing something out there. I really didn't pay a whole lot of attention. It was like a man thing. I was usually in the house cleaning or doing whatever I had to do, taking care of kids. It was like his place to go. I had no idea what he was up to in the shed.
Why don't you give me a break?
I knew something was going on, but I wasn't quite sure what. I guess I never really thought that he would ever harm anybody. One day he came in from work and he dropped his bag on the floor and he went in to take a shower. And I went in to take the dirty clothes out of his bag and I found condoms.
What are these?
And I said to him, "What are you doing with these in this bag?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm holding them for a friend." And I'm thinking, yeah, really, that's the best story you could tell about that?
I would never do that to you. I love you.
I knew something was going on, but I wasn't quite sure what.
Stop being so paranoid.
I thought that he probably was seeing somebody when he was out on the road. But I guess I wanted to believe that everything was okay and that he was honest in the things that he said. This tape was a tape that my daughter Jennifer found on top of our bed. I received a call at work from Jenny, and she said, "I can't believe that you would make a tape like that and leave it where someone could see it." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she described what was going on the tape. And I said, "Jenny, you know what?" I said, "Just put it back where you found it till I get home." I went home that evening and I watched the video. And I was just like, wow, what is this? It was my girlfriend and Jim having sex. I was devastated. I could not believe that he would be doing something like that. I waited for Jim to come in off of the road. I asked him about it. And he said it wasn't him. I said, "How can you say it wasn't you?" I said, "How stupid do you think that I am?" I should have realized that this wasn't going to work, and I should have just cut my losses. But I didn't. You keep thinking that things are going to change or that you change a person. I had hoped that we would be the perfect family. And the first few years of life, we did get along as a family.
Stop trying to convince me that it's not you.
But, after that, it was all downhill.
All I do is repeat myself.
We got into an argument over something. I don't even remember at this point what it was. But he just became somebody that he wasn't.
What's the matter with you? What are you, stupid?
He belittled me. I was fat. I needed to lose weight. You're a whore and you're, whatever comes out of his mouth, you're just supposed to take. It was so bad that it's like you didn't even want to be in the same house that he was in.
Is that too much to ask?
Sometimes I feel like he was two different people. When he was a nice person, you couldn't want for anything more. He was a very sweet guy. He would do anything for you. When he was the other way, he was just awful. A lot of things go through your mind, but you don't say anything because you're too afraid to say anything. He got mad at me one day, and I can't remember even what he was upset about. And we got into it, and I probably yelled back, and he slapped me and knocked me over the chair. That was the first time I ever saw that type of a temper from him. I couldn't believe that he could do something like that. I did not fight back. I felt that it was better if he just didn't say anything. I thought, well, maybe it was my fault. Maybe I did something. And I was afraid of him, so I just put up with it. Then he walked out. He left. I became scared of him, knowing that he could become violent. I had never really seen that part of him, but he got very violent over time. I was scared. I was scared of him when he was home. He just became unbearable to live with. He would always be about something. And when he became that kind of person, no one wanted to be around him. He made my life a living hell. But what was I going to do? I had all these kids. I figured I'm better off staying with him. Where am I going to go? There was no way that I could just up and leave. If it was just myself or maybe 1 or 2 kids, you could go somewhere. But with 6 kids, where are you going to go? So it was better if I just put up with it. I guess I never really thought that he would ever harm anybody. Boy, he said that would be a real good place to throw a body if you wanted to get rid of something.
I don't ask you for much. I sound like a broken record.
Most of the time when Jim lost his temper, everybody in the neighborhood could hear.
Stupid!
It was very hurtful. And it was very hurtful to watch him, the way that he talked to my kids. Jim hated Jenny. She was kind of bossy, and she was kind of rebellious. She wouldn't put up with his crap. She would just tell him, hey, you're not my dad.
You gotta be kidding me.
What?
What are you doing just sitting here?
I remember the time he was yelling at her over something that she had done, and she just started yelling back at him.
You'll do what I say. Get upstairs and clean your room.
I don't have to listen to you.
He started to threaten her. And I went out there and I'm like, both of you, please just stop. And he walked away and Jenny walked away. She was just so fed up with him that she didn't know what else to do. So Children's Services came out to the house. And that was the end of that. They never came back. Jim was furious. He was really mad at her that she would do something like that.
I got some stuff for you guys.
Jim sometimes would bring back trinkets or some kind of jewelry, clothes, just anything that maybe he found somewhere and he thought that they might want. I can remember one day when Jim came in off the road.
I got you something.
Okay. He had a cassette recorder, and he gave this cassette recorder to Jenny. And it had this young girl's voice on it.
everybody. This is Dawn.
The girl who said her name was Dawn.
I met a boy at the truck stop with the dreamiest eyes.
And she was talking about the place where she lived. She was in a home for wayward kids.
But I just had to get out of there and be on my own. Nobody understands me there.
She was a runaway.
I'll be fine on my own. I can take care of myself.
And, I never really thought anything of it. He said he found it laying out on the ground and he picked it up and brought it home to her. He would always say that he found it. And I just accepted that. One time he gave Lisa a book. It was about murder and how you get away with it. And she was very scared of it, like, why would he give me something like this? And then she became very afraid of him. It sends a chill up your spine. I mean, why would you give something like that to a child? I can remember one time that we were on our way to Lake Erie and we stopped by a rest area to get a coffee or something. And there was like a lake around there on the one side.
You know what?
And he said, that would be a real good place to throw a body if you wanted to get rid of something. And I laughed and I'm like, what? I didn't think anything of it. I just felt like he just said something stupid. I'm like, I'm sure he doesn't mean anything by that, and we just left it go then.
Is everything okay?
No.
Jim had come home and he had told me that they had DNA tested him at work. I asked him why they had DNA tested him, and he said that there was something that happened in one of the trucks, and he's one of the drivers on that truck.
They're actually harassing everyone that used the truck in the last week.
He said that there was several people that they DNA tested that drove the truck. I didn't know why they were doing that, and he didn't tell me. It was no big deal, nothing to worry about. So I didn't worry about it. Everything's fine. Okay. It's good enough for me. So I just left it go at that.
I want to just relax. I'm out of here.
Okay. After the DNA testing, he became very violent at home, more so than he had been, and I was really afraid.
Jenny is back talking to me again.
I didn't want to be there by myself with the kids and him.
You better straighten them out, or I will. Do you understand me? Yeah.
I was very scared of what he would do to my children. I was afraid that he would snap at one point and that he would hurt one of my kids. And then one day, I came home from work. Jim was out on the road, and I happened to open the case with the camera in it, looking for something. And I found the kids' birth certificates and the kids' social security cards. It did not contain any of the older kids' information. It was just his kids, the 3 little ones. I came to the conclusion that he was going to leave, take off, and take the little kids with him. I was afraid he was going to take my children. And I just decided that I had had enough. I needed to get out of there. So I felt that it was best if I ask for help. I left on a Thursday. We went down to the courthouse to get a protection order against him. And that's when they put me into protective custody. I figured if I take them and put them in protective custody, he can't get them. I knew at that point that I wasn't going to go back there. There was nothing that was going to make me go back there.
I was just calling to let you know that I'm fine. The kids are fine.
I wanted to at least let him know that we were safe and that we were okay. Because we were good friends.
I had to go. I couldn't stay there anymore.
And he told me, he said, Sheila, you don't have to worry about it. And I'm like, why is that?
What are you talking about?
He goes, they arrested Jim yesterday. That's when I just like, what? I really did believe that they had the wrong person. I couldn't even stand to listen to it at that point. It's like, how could this happen? How could this happen? He said, Sheila, they arrested your husband today. They sent a SWAT team and they arrested him when he pulled in. That's when I just like, what?
A SWAT team for what?
He said they sent 54 police there. They have him in custody. I'm like, well, what did they say he did? He killed a young girl. I'm like, you're kidding me. No, Sheila, I'm not kidding. And I hung up and I started crying and I'm like, oh my gosh. We didn't have TV at this protected place, but I used to listen to K105.
Authorities brought in crews this morning.
I turned it on and they were talking about it.
The girl's half-naked body had been found in a snowbank back in March. The rope used to strangle the young woman was still tied around her neck.
I was shocked. It was very disturbing.
Signs of a struggle and rape were evident.
Like, I don't even want to hear this. I turned it off. I couldn't even stand to listen to it at that point. It's like, how could this happen? How could this happen?
The trial of James Robert Cruz began today. The courtroom is full of tension as witnesses were called to the stand.
At the time this went to trial, I wanted to believe that he was innocent.
The neighbors of Mr. Cruz say he was the last person they would suspect of violence.
I really did believe that they had the wrong person. I mean, you know, I knew that he could be violent, but I never thought that it would lead to him doing something stupid like that. Never thought he was capable of murder.
Cruz denied ever even meeting the young girl.
You want to think that somebody that you lived with could not have done something like that. But after you hear the evidence...
The prosecution presented damning evidence.
There was a hair that matched Jim's in the rope that strangled her. And they found blonde hair that belonged to her on the door of the truck. That's when it all clicked back in my mind.
Cops were checking our trucks for DNA or something at work.
Wow, this is what the DNA testing was that he had done? I'm like, they didn't DNA test everybody, they DNA tested him. That's how they got him. They were talking about the young girl that he had killed. Her name was Dawn. And I remembered about the cassette player that he had given to Jenny.
I just had to get out of there and be on my own.
The girl said her name was Dawn on there.
Hey everybody, this is Dawn.
And I realized that was her stuff. He gave that to Jenny. And I knew he was guilty. After I saw the picture of the girl,
The Runaway, Dawn Marie Birnbaum.
I was like devastated. It really reminded me of Jenny. This is my daughter Jenny. She was probably around 16 at the time of this photo. This is Dawn. And when you look at this picture beside Jenny, they looked a lot alike. Their eyes, their face, their hair. Why did he kill that girl? Did he kill her because he thought it was Jenny? Jim hated Jenny. I was afraid that he would snap at one point and that he would have done that to Jenny eventually. Something had to have happened there that he snapped and he thought it was Jenny and he choked her. He must have thought it was Jenny. I was relieved just knowing that he wasn't going to be there anymore. I felt safe. I hadn't felt safe for a long time. But it's hard to believe that he would do something like that. How could you do that? How could you kill somebody? I mean, I felt very sad because she was so young. Like, how could you do that? I felt guilty because maybe if I would have done something earlier in that marriage when things were going on that weren't right, I would have spoke up and said something instead of being scared, being afraid of him, that maybe it would have helped and it wouldn't have gotten to the point where he killed people. We opened up the door and went in. I would have never ever in my lifetime thought that that kind of stuff would have been in my shed. To find out that he actually was guilty. That he actually was, they found him guilty of that. It was upsetting. How could you have done something to a 17-year-old? After Jim's trial, it was suggested that he may have killed other women all over the place, places that he had been. Jim drove from the East Coast to the West Coast, down south, Maryland, Pennsylvania, out in Iowa. Wherever they needed to have stuff delivered is where he went. He would talk about when he was parked at the truck stops that hookers would come up to his door and they would knock on the door. All of the other women that he was suspected of murdering were hookers and prostitutes. And they all died by strangulation. And the reason that they felt that he had committed these was because the rope was the same way, and these all stopped once he was arrested. We opened up the door and went in. I kind of just looked at Cherry and said, oh my gosh. The whole back of the shed was full of stuff. There was so much in there, it was unbelievable. I found books about murders of women, and I found rope that had been cut, but it was the same rope that had been used on Dawn. Like, I would have never ever in my lifetime thought that that kind of stuff would have been in my shed. That's when actually reality hit, and I knew he was plotting murders. Why else would you keep that stuff there? So then it brought me back to the condoms that I found in his black bag. Then I realized that must have been what he was doing out there. He must have had sex with all of these women before he killed them. Or after he killed them. And the gifts that he brought home, they probably were from women that they think that he may have murdered. Why would you bring that stuff home? And why would you give it to your daughter? We found stuff to make a bomb. I think that he was going to kill my 3 older kids and myself. He was going to take the little kids and he was going to blow up the house with Jenny, Jody, Lisa, and I in it. And at that point I knew that I was lucky that he didn't kill us. He had already gotten life with no parole ever in the state of Pennsylvania, so there was really no use to prosecute him. But they actually think that he did commit those crimes. His job made it easy for him to do that and get away with it. He would always pick a fight before he left. In hindsight, it all made sense to me. If he was mad at me, he could go out there and he could unleash his anger on somebody else. But a lot of these signs I didn't see. Had I, I'm sure that I would have done things a lot differently. I should have left many, many years before that. In the very beginning, I didn't think that Jim was an evil person. I thought Jim was a loving person. After everything happened that happens in our life, I should have been scared of him. I should have been more scared than I was. I felt very lucky that the kids and I escaped with our lives because he was a dangerous, dangerous person. I'm just happy to be alive.